Welcome to Fire and Life Talk, transforming a world, one heart at a time.
Well, hello and welcome to Fire and Life Talk. I'm Pastor Gary. I'm your host, and we'll be bringing in our co-host, Pastor Gina, my good thing. For the Bible says in Proverbs 18:22, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. But we'll get to her in a minute. Man, we have a fabulous, wonderful guest. We've been waiting for him to come on, and we got him today. He took his time out to visit us today, and we're so elated about that. His name is Victor Joyner, writer, director, producer. He does it all. And we are so excited. So I'm asking you to get you a bag of popcorn, sit back and learn from this brother, learn from his experiences, his challenges and all that. And I guarantee you'll be encouraged. I guarantee you'll be empowered and equipped. So whatever platform you watch it from, don't forget to like, to share, to comment, and most of all, subscribe. Amen. Amen. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my good thing, executive producer, good thing, wife, pastor, Gina.
Wow, what an introduction.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Good. That's good. You looking good. You looking good.
You are too. You are
Thank
too.
you very much. Thank you very much. I tell you what, we're not going to hold it no more because I want to get to the guests. I'm excited
Yes.
about the guest today.
Oh,
But I
yes.
did want to share a little devotional with you and our
Okay.
listening audience. It came out of Psalms 28:7. And this was a psalm that David wrote in a time when he was really going through some troubles and some challenges. It says that he said, "The Lord is my strength and my shield." He said, "My heart trusts in him and I am helped. My heart leaps for joy and I will give thanks in song."
Amen.
And again, I reiterate, this is a time when David was in some challenging and dangerous times. And he's letting us know that even when we're going through that, David is saying we can, in the midst of it, we can trust God. In the midst of it, we can leap for joy and continue to give him our heart. So what you think about that?
Well, what I think is that's the good news. And it's an encouraging word. And it is something that we can stand on, we can believe in, and we can trust in. Because if David was going through all of that, so when we're in situations and
Yeah,
circumstances, we can do the same. We can overcome. We can stand in our deliverance. We can wait on the Lord, and He will show His mercy and His grace and His truth in His word to us, and we can overcome it.
that's right,
Amen.
because he's faithful. That's a good
He
word.
is
That's a good
faithful.
word. Well, I know
Yes.
we normally would take a small break here, but I tell you what, once you go ahead and read our guest bio, and then we'll bring them in, and we're gonna hit the road running.
Well, I'll be glad to. We have Victor Joyner Jr. He began his film career as an actor, featured in series such as North Carolina Wanted. However, Victor's true talents would be discovered behind the lens. Producer and director Phil Ahidi um, saw Victor's gift in 2006 while he was playing a supporting role in his international film, Congo Boy in the City. Victor would be promoted to co-director, which was only the beginning for him. Joyner went on to frequent for more than 10 independent films and plays, fulfilling positions such as grip, script supervisor, casting director, writer, director, and in 2008, Victorious Films LLC was launched, and by 2009, Joyner had completed his first film, Hoot. In 2010, Victorious Films LLC would go on to collaborate with local Christian rap artists to produce Apocalypse, a length musical performance. Victorious Films LLC made its Hollywood debut in 2011 when they partnered with Miguel Nunez Jr. in the trailer for the film Gospel Gangster, shortly followed by Thieves on a Cross shot in Detroit, Michigan. In 2014, Joyner expanded his syndicate through the acquisition of Maltby Talent Agency, which had been in business for more than 30 years. Through working with major casting directors and producers throughout Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York City, Joyner has had opportunity to work with talent such as J. Jesse Smith on Grey Hood and the feature film The In-Law Gang, starring Clifton Powell. In fall of 2020, Joyner wrote, directed, and produced the to-be film A Brother's Turmoil, which reached #1 on the recommended list. Please welcome Victor Joyner Jr.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Hold on. We got you on mute. You got to unmute yourself.
How's everybody doing today?
There we go. There we go. We're doing great. We're doing great. You know, we giggling on our end because, you know, Pastor Gina, she's so soft-spoken. And I always tell her, no, you got to pronounce that thing. You know,
You that thing.
Joyner.
You know,
So
they say you gotta bring them out.
Yeah. We thank you for joining us today, man, and taking time. That's always special for us and for our audience. And hey, man, let's just get right into it. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Wilson, North Carolina. You know, we have a lot of talent to come out. You know, and I just going through life, you know, trying to figure out what's going on and what I should be doing. And God led me to start a film company. You know, and I didn't know exactly what He was going to say, you know, what I was going to be doing. But I said, hey, God, you said do it. I'm going to do it. So since then, I've just been working, you know, trying to learn the craft, you know, master the craft, and just put out good projects.
All right, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So that's how you got started in the film industry? Just
How I got well, the way I got started in the film industry, I have a friend called his name is BJ Britt. He's a no actor, big star now. But back
okay.
then he was just getting started, and I was trying to do a magazine, and he said, well, you know, to get into the industry, you may want to be a part of the industry. So I decided, you know, to go to school and things for modeling, acting, things like that. Then I started the acting process. And I found myself when I was on set, more people were asking me to do, you know, directing and writing and type things on set than acting. So I was just figuring out, like, hey, man, I'm helping everybody else with their films. I might as well do my own.
All right.
So, and as an actor, you know, you want to be able also to create for yourself. You know, you don't have to wait
Right,
on Hollywood or wait on other projects. So that's another reason as well
right.
that I got into the film game. But most of it came from just being on set and people asking me to do stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, if I have this talent, and I can do all this stuff, I might as well do it. Start my own company, do it myself.
All right. Yeah, that's what we try to instill too and encourage people, you know, that we can take initiative in other crafts or other arts that's close to ours. You know, learn everything about your craft. You know, if
Hmm.
someone asks you to do something that you didn't train for, hey, that's an asset, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's something that some tools that you can pick up to help get you to where you want to go. So that's really inspiring too. So in the midst of doing all that, man, what was some of the challenges that you had, you know, in that process?
Well, a lot of the challenges that I have come from almost like living in North Carolina because it's not really a state known for film. Well, it was known for Hollywood films at one point.
Right.
Because
Okay.
it used to be
Yeah.
the #3 state, you know, in film. But for independent filmmakers, it's hard to get investors and people like that because most people just know real estate around here and things like that. So that's a challenge, what I'm saying, that you have. And also to get, people to take stuff seriously, you know. There's a lot of serious actors, a lot of serious filmmakers in North Carolina, but it's about connecting with them or connecting with the right people who are ready to go on the level that you're working and striving to be on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. In the midst of that, you had mentioned, well, as one of the challenges that North Carolina is not, the average person, don't see North Carolina as, producing films and everything. I think everyone knows
Hmm.
Hollywood and Bollywood and all that. And then, for what, maybe 10 or 12 years or so, Atlanta blew up, right?
Yeah, I know about
And,
the Atlanta
and,
scene.
and so here you are coming from North Carolina. We like, man, hey, what's North Carolina about? So tell me, what was the stirring in the atmosphere of North Carolina that just started producing so much talent, or did it just get discovered?
um, but we've all had talent. A lot of stars that you see on TV are originally from North Carolina.
Wow. Wow.
Fantasia, Alice Hodge, B.J. Britt, Miguel Ainez Jr.,
Okay.
Dennis L.A. White. I mean, there's a lot of talent. Afghan, what's the name, actor, he's a comedian, Afghan. He's from North Carolina. So there's a lot of talent from North Carolina. And
Okay.
North Carolina is not to be slept on. Color Purple was shot here. Silence of the Lamb was shot here. Iron Man 3 was shot here. The Hunger Games was shot here. The last 3 Halloween movies were shot here. So I
Wow.
mean, it's not
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Swinging
I
Studios.
didn't know that either.
Dawson Creek. Ninja Turtles. I mean, all types of movies and stuff's been shot here. But it's not
Yeah.
glamorous. Some people don't talk
Right.
about it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What is the draw to North Carolina then? All these filmmakers. What's the big secret of someone that's not in the industry? To understand the draw that all these films was made there.
Well, North Carolina's got everything you need. Basically, think about it. We have cities, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham. We have the country. Well, we got a lot of countryside. We have the mountains. We have the mountains. We have the beach. You know what I'm saying? And we have,
Yeah.
what you call cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? So we have people who are about it. You know what I'm saying? And who are welcoming to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Is the
but
laws
big.
different than is the laws different from Hollywood and Georgia films and all those?
Well, yes and no. Like North Carolina, you don't have to have a lot of permits. Like a lot of places like that, you gotta get
Yeah.
permits to do everything. North
Oh,
Yeah.
Carolina, you can basically film anywhere if you got permission. Even on public places, as long as you're not interrupting what's going on and things like that. You know.
Right.
The thing that kind of drove film away from North Carolina is a few years ago, one of our governors took away like the tax laws, the tax breaks and things like that. That's when everything left because big business they want to get that money back.
Right.
you
Right.
know, so that's when a lot of stuff started going to Georgia, started going to Louisiana, things like that.
Okay.
But things like I know a lot of people, every Hollywood person that I know that I'm friends with, they say, "Hey man, we love North Carolina." Every time they come here, we love it. It's
Wow.
beautiful, it's quiet, slow pace. The people are nice, the people are good to you. But I think for us, it's about bringing awareness, what I'm saying, and it's coming
yeah.
together. I got a lot of friends from Detroit, who are making a lot of movies, who's, running Tubi right now, because they have a lot of movies out there. Just to
Okay.
get everybody on one page like that, what I'm saying, would help out, North Carolina. Because like I said, a lot of talent comes out of North Carolina, but it's not known for anything. It's known for basketball,
Right.
Carolina
Right.
Duke, it's known for sports, but in the entertainment industry, people don't realize how many people, Sandra Bullock went to EC, the same college I went to, East Carolina.
Oh wow, I didn't know that either.
Wow.
Yeah.
People, there's a
Yeah.
lot
That's
of people don't
that's
know
one of my favorite.
Vince McMahon went to East Carolina. He's from North Carolina. So the WD, I mean, wrestling started in North Carolina.
Wow.
NASCAR started in
Wow.
North Carolina. So,
And,
I
and,
mean,
and see, we hear about these things individual, but when you're on the show now and you putting it all together, like we're hearing it all in one page, like, man, that's right. Yeah, that is right. So so you mentioned some of the challenges, but in the midst of all of this process, the challenges, the people you meet and all the hats that you wear, what continues to drive you when you're doing a project?
Well, I mean, it's that I won't stop. I mean, I just have a nonstop personality. You know, I've been, I guess, the underdog my entire life, but I've always rose to the top every time.
Okay.
So if it wasn't sports, I was all state sports. I'm an all state team. If it was,
Wow.
writing and film, what I'm saying? I made it from a small town to like people know me in Hollywood, people know me around the world, and it's not
Yeah.
that I'm boasting,
Yeah.
it's just that they know of me. I'm like, wow, you know me? Oh, okay. But it's a dedication and it's hard because sometimes you do want to stop. Sometimes you do want to quit because it gets
Right.
hard, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially when it's like, you can't find the funding or people you get in the midst because there's a lot of tricky people in this industry, you know what I'm saying? And when you deal with them, it sometimes leaves a bad taste in your mouth and you want to quit, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
But, it's just me, it's like I done put too much, blood, sweat, tears, money, time, what I'm saying, stuff into the stuff that I just can't stop. And one, God won't allow me to stop for one. That's the
All right.
first
That's
thing.
right.
God's like, okay.
That's
Yeah.
right.
God, I don't know what you're doing. Hey, son, stay the course. Just stay the course. We got
That's
you.
right.
Stay the course.
That's right.
Yeah.
And God has opened major doors for me that, I've been in touch with some people, I want to say their names, but like people. I'm like, wow, when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I used to admire these people. I was like, now I'm on, like, I text them, they call me or whatever, like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh, snap, do you understand? When I was 19, 18, 20 years old, you was that guy. Now you're calling me friend, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I say that, that's just the favor of God, you know what I'm saying, on my life.
Right.
Right.
And just being dedicated and focused, you know what I'm saying, on
Yes.
what I'm not letting it stop me, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot
That's
of barriers, a lot of challenges, you know what I'm saying? But at those moments, I have to center myself, center my faith, and just move forward.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That falls right into the devotional because
Yes, it does.
Yeah, David was saying, hey, challenging time is, but I'm going to trust in you and keep going. And that's what
Yes.
we have to understand, that the Lord said he'll never leave us nor forsake us.
That's right.
And in the midst of it, he will empower us. And you testifying how he opened doors and put you in front of great people,
Yes.
and just continue to bless you and continue to give you that strength to keep going. But are you working on anything currently?
I just signed on to be a associate producer on this project called 6 Mile. It's out of Detroit, of course.
Out of Detroit, yeah.
One of our friends, William McKinney and McKinney Dynasty are doing it down Impact Studios, I think, in Atlanta. They're doing it down there. Working on the sequel to Brothers Turmoil, and I have a wrestling movie that I'm writing to try to inspire some people,
Yes.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you mentioned Brothers Turmoil, and I want to get
Yeah.
to that, man, because I love that movie, man. We've
Yes.
watched it times, but I tell you what, before we get into it, when we come back, we'll talk about Brothers Turmoil. Again, you've tuned in to Fire and Life Talk. I'm your host, Pastor Gary, and this is my co-host, my good thing, Pastor Gina, and today we're talking with Victor Joyner, director,
Yes.
producer, actor. He does it all, but we'll
Yes,
be right
it
back.
does.
What's happening, y'all? I don't know if you've ever seen a walking tree. This is actually called a walking tree because these are the roots that come from up high, not down on the ground. They grow into the ground. They're both on both sides of the tree. And if the tree wants to move this way, the roots in the back die, and then it grows out more roots in the front. And the only way the tree can move forward is if the roots in the back die, and it grows more roots in the front, and then the tree moves in that direction. The only way you're going to be able to walk with God and move forward with God is if your roots behind you die. Your old relationships, your old connections, your old views of yourself, they have to die in order for you to move forward. And then you grow new roots in the direction that God wants you to go. The Bible says if anyone's in Christ, the old is gone and the new has come. So let go of these old roots, let go of these old ideas, these old relationships, these old perceptions, and start moving forward and reaching out forward to apprehend what Christ has apprehended for you, to become the person He created you to be.
Welcome back to Fire and Life Talk. We're here speaking with Victor Joyner, director, writer, producer. And before we went on break, we mentioned one of his latest projects that was out, A Brother's Turmoil. So, Victor, what was it like? Well, I'll tell you what, can we just go ahead and go into a clip?
Yeah, let's go into a clip.
Okay, let's go ahead and go into a clip of A Brother's Turmoil.
Family means everything to me. Man, you just got here and already need something?
Yeah, and?
But with this badge, I took an oath.
If it ain't the choir boy himself.
Nah, you're about to be choir boy because you're about to start singing. Captain, you won't regret this. What happens when the turmoils are so bad?
What's going on, baby? Come on for that money. Come on for that money.
Remember me?
You want me to stand down now?
You're off the case.
You can't do that.
I made my decision.
But Captain, to be honest, I'm not doing too good.
But look, we gotta take wings out, man, if we want that spot back.
I don't know if you've been watching the news, but you seem to be the only cop in America that's living by this oath.
Put down the gun. That's what I thought.
That's because they closed the case.
That I have to choose.
While you're thinking about what you should do, remember all those times Jay had your back in the past.
So what are we going to do? 22. Oh, you gonna play dumb? I'm tired of this.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You know, but before you get into the film, I just want to throw my little 2 cents in. You know, it's our show, though, right? We can throw a little 2 cents in. But no, one thing I love about your films, man, is that it's about reality. You know, and you interject an element of maybe element of danger or thuggism or whatever it is, you know, the wrestle between the light and the dark, but it never gets gory. You know, you leave that for the imagination, man. And I applaud you on that, because the atmosphere today, you know, the more gory, the worse it is. And the more you can show, go right up to that line, you know, that Hollywood or whoever, you know, the powers that be have set, you know, but you stuck to that, you know, throughout your films. And I applaud you in that. I applaud you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It means a lot. You know, I do that, you know, on set. Everybody's like, you gonna put blood in? I'm like, no, I'm not putting blood in. You know, we're gonna show this? No, we're not gonna show that. You know, because it's also, you know, also up to the imagination, also it's good marketing as well. You know, I mean, because not showing certain things will allow certain people that couldn't watch it to be able to watch it. You know, there's a lot of reasons why a lot of Disney movies, Marvel movies, things like that are PG-13, because so other people can watch it. You know what I'm saying? And the more it can reach the masses, and just my style of films, the things that I try to do is my boy William Mr. McKean says I created my own style. I mean, it's a faith-based film, but it's like for guys. You know what I'm saying? It's the action. It's the the
Yeah,
real,
yeah,
the
yeah.
thuggish, the toughness. You know what I'm saying?
Right. A
That
reality we
usually,
live in.
yeah. And because I mean, yeah, you want people watch your films, but you want the world to watch it too because you want to touch them, and they're not going to know. They're not going to watch the films that's going to hit them upside the head with the Bible. They're going to just sit. They're not even going to go watch them. But if it's something that can
Right.
attract and get their attention, they could come in, and then at least if I can plant a seed through my films and something somebody said or somebody do through their actions, then God will order it, and they'll be brought on.
Yeah, definitely. We were going to ask, what sets your films apart, but man, we just talked about it, and it sets it apart so far. Like you said, you've created your own lane.
Yes.
I know people are coming behind you to emulate that. But let's get back to the clip. We and that's how the show go, man. We'll just go head off. But tell us about the film. Tell us about Brothers Turmoil. Where the idea came from, the process of it all, and the gist of the story.
Well, the idea actually came from a film that I kind of shot before, like a long time ago, and it was basically improv. But it was a good story. I saw it was a good story, so I was like, okay, let me go back in, type it up, what I'm saying, make it tight, things like that. And it's just, anybody can have a bad day. Anybody can have something happen that's so bad that makes them have to choose between the right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? Go through that daily.
Yeah.
So when I was writing it and putting it together, it's like, okay, what can I do, or what can I put on this guy to give him the pressure? Because I mean, somebody do something to somebody in your family, you're gonna be kind of tight. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna push you to the limits, and then when you're trying to do the right things and it's not working out, you know what I'm saying? You got other people in your circle, and it's like, hey man, we didn't handle your business. You know what I'm saying? That's your brother. You gotta do what you gotta do. So it's gonna weigh on you. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have the good basis or the right people in your circle, you're gonna succumb to those circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Because even the
Yeah.
best person, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's even people in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, that succumb
Yeah.
to pressure. Peter chopped off the dude there, like, hey,
Yes.
Jesus, like, wait, whoa, bro, put that back,
Yeah.
let's put that back on. So, the film is just this guy, he goes through, he's happy, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, the people that he's chasing, he knows them. And he's
Yes.
known for being a straight arrow church boy, doing the
Right.
right thing,
Right.
and it's how people will try to treat you a certain way because they know you're like that. People try to walk over you and treat you a certain way because you're trying to do the right thing and trying to be a good person.
Right.
So it's just, as the movie goes along, what I'm saying, the weight just sometimes, we don't know because I can't say if it gets too much for him or if it doesn't get too much for him, But, it's just how he handles the pressure, what I'm saying, how anybody handles the pressure when somebody dies or something happens to an extreme.
Yeah. Okay. Don't tell the whole thing. Don't tell the whole thing.
Oh, no. I ain't gonna tell the whole thing, you gotta go to Tubi watch it to find out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I can attest to that, but I'm not going to tell my story. But I want to say, like, since we were talking about the Bible, but that's how they did Jesus. They said, oh man, that's this old what's the name son, the carpenter's son. He didn't get no respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they became familiar with him. Who they identified him with and everything. So those things still happen with us.
Yes.
Who we identify with, who we related to. So yeah, that's what I found great about the story too, because that was one of his challenges to overcome. Say, yeah, you know me, but look, this is what I am now. I've evolved. I'm doing what I love. I'm passionate about it, and you're gonna have to respect that.
Yes.
And that's what I'm talking about. Your films, you bring about real life and what people can relate to. And there's so many different layers of your film. Yeah. So
Yes.
different personalities, different should I say education levels,
Yes.
because some people don't know that element of life, the hood life or the role that the characters are playing, but you bring all that out, as a whole, as a film, but yet as individuals as well. So I don't know if that's just a standard thing in the industry, but I think that up, and I just wanted to share that. But so, man, yeah, we appreciate what you do, and yeah, you do stand out, and we appreciate that. Pastor Gina, you have any questions?
Yes. Um, are you looking for other actresses or actors for your new and upcoming movie, or anything else that you're looking for?
Well, we're always looking for good talent, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, I'm in the belief that everybody has a role to play, you know what I'm saying? Even, I prefer people to have experience or, at least some training, but I've had people, like, there's some people in the film that it's their first role, but I had them play, like, their personality, who they really are. So it's right, not only you playing who you are, because it's all in the industry, you're actually playing, regardless of what role you're playing yourself, you
Okay.
know? So you're not really, you're acting, you're saying the words, but you're really just being yourself. So long as you be yourself, so we're looking for talented people who are ready to be themselves and who are serious, who,
Right.
film is a very expensive business.
Yes,
So
it is.
if you're not serious about it, you can't do it. I mean, I have people all the time. Hey, I want to star in your movie. Like, hey, bro, I don't know about that one. Not quite yet. You know what I'm saying? I give you a role, but I can't put the whole bam on your back.
We say they want to come out and be the headliner.
Out the gate. Hey man, I can be there starting this movie. And I'm like, I know you, but I don't know about that one. But I can find something for you. But
Yeah.
not the star. The star has to at least have some kind of experience because, I mean, I tell people all the time, actors all the time, they want to be stars. Like, do you really want to be a star? Because there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot of weight, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of people that comes along with that.
Yeah. But anything worthwhile and reaching your dream, to be passionate about it, it's going to take some hard work and dedication and being true not only to your craft but to yourself.
Right.
And one thing you just said, that you can choose people for them to be themselves. And I think that, I don't know, because I look at it, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I look at it, when you're acting, you're actually playing someone else or playing another role. But if you can be yourself in that role, man, that's powerful, man.
It's powerful.
Yeah, that's powerful.
All the greats just playing themselves. Jack Nicholson been playing Jack Nicholson since before that. It don't change. Denzel Washington been and they played the Zach. I mean, Will Smith been playing Will Smith. They can switch it up from time to time, do certain roles, but they still bring it to themselves. They got a new trailer for Equalizer 3 for Denzel Washington. He's still playing the same role he been playing. But that's, I mean, it's to me, it's not when, for anybody who is trying to be an actor, when casting, people are looking for things, they're not looking for somebody to play that character. They're looking for somebody to do something different. I know a ton of stars and some people that, either they've done videos, interviews, or, I've talked to them and say, hey, my agent, somebody told me to do this. Tom Holland, for example, he played Spider-Man. His agent told him not to go in there flipping and doing all that stuff like that. He went in flipping and doing all that stuff like that. He got the role.
You got the role.
That's true.
You're not looking for somebody to just, I'm not looking for somebody to say the words. I'm looking for somebody who can play that character.
Right.
Yeah. To bring that to life for the screen. So it's a lot of elements to it, man. So what would you say is the most important element in creating a successful film?
Yeah.
The story. You know what I'm saying? My big brother J. Justice Smith says this all the time. The story is the star. You can have bad acting, you can have bad this and bad that, but if the story's good, people will watch it. If they only watch it once, they'll watch it.
You're right because it wasn't too long ago we was watching. The cameraman was kind of shaky and it was kind of slow. But you're right, man. The story was on point, and people were saying, "What did you can tell me about this movie? I should watch it." Now, this is not your work. This is not your work. I'm not talking about your work. I'm talking about a different work. And I was telling people about this movie, and I say, "Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's a little slow. I think the cameraman just started out or something, and the budget was a little low, but the story was on point, man. If you continue to follow the story, and everyone's saying, you know what, you was right. So yeah, that's great, man. So, I'm gonna have to get in the industry because I'm seeing a lot of this stuff now.
Go ahead on.
I may come in, man. I may have to start working, hooking up some lights and stuff, man. I'm down with that. Hey, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to find out more about directing and producing and all this. All about my man. I can say that now. My man, Victor Joyner. We'll be back.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
Welcome back to Fire and Life Talk. We thank you again for tuning in. We have our very special guest today, Victor Joyner, and he's telling us about the entertainment industry, the film industry, and he's done it all, and been involved with a lot of projects. And he said how he learned that he just started doing his own projects, and I know how that is. He's met a lot of the great people. So again, we just thank you, Victor, for coming in. We can't say that enough. We appreciate you, and we know our audience appreciates you as well. But I wanted to know, Victor, and all the things that you've done and you've produced, you've written, and coming up through the process, what was the most valuable lesson you would say that you've learned throughout your career?
Well, the most valuable lesson I learned is to never give up. I have a saying, I always say, never give up, use faith or walk in faith or live the life of faith. Just to, regardless of what's going on in your personal life or what's going on in your professional life, just don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to drown out the noise and the other things to focus, but you have to focus and get it through. And don't be scared to fail. I could put a movie out, nobody like it. It's like, okay, oh well, what I'm saying, on to the next one.
That's good, man. That's a great attitude. And I think everyone in life can adopt that. And the reason I say that is because we all going to experience life. You know, that's a promise. Yeah, that's a promise. We're all going to experience life. So it's all about, you know, as we say in some circles, it's all about our mental. It's all about our attitude. It's all about our perception of things. And once we can get that transformed, you know, transformed, the Bible says be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I always like to say, not the renewing of your elbow, not the renewing of your finger, but the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
And all those other things that line up. And for what? So we can know God's purpose. We can know God's will.
Yes.
And we'll line up in our purpose, you know, what he purposed us to do. So in that, I always say all things work together for the good.
Yes.
For those that love God and called according to his purpose. So in all of our challenges and all of our things, we keep the right attitude. We keep, like you're saying, we keep hope. We keep driving, no quitting, all of that. Next thing you know, we're walking in our purpose. And we use everything in our purpose that tried to hinder us. When the people said you ain't gonna make it, just keep striving. Like you said, well, I don't like that. Well, okay, somebody gonna like it. You know, you keep on going. Where did you get that fortitude from?
I guess my mother, I would say, you know, just that's how I've always been as a child, you know, because I've never, you know, my mother told me never quit, you know what I'm saying? She said, you start something, you got to finish it, you know, and I just always, you know, I don't like losing one thing, so I just always kept fighting, you know. So, I mean, that's just, I mean, to me, a lot of stuff that goes on me is just how God made me, you know, and a lot of people can say, yo, dude, there's nobody like you, you're different, but I don't, you know, I had a moment with God. You know, old folks say, you're going to be something when you grow up. And I remember the day I was driving to the beach on my own. I said, God, what am I going to be? You know, and he's like, well, you start looking for it, you'll find it.
Like, it's true.
Okay. Wow. You know, and I also have to say my pastor, Bishop Rosie O'Neill, I remember going to communion one day. It's before I started film. I was just out of college. She said, you know, I hurt my knee. She came over to pray for me. She said, your ministry is going to be great. You may not be preaching, but you're going to be doing it in front of a bunch of people. And that's why I started doing anything. And I hadn't even told her I was thinking about filming anything like that. Mm-hmm. So that always, the word that she's spoken into me has always, you know, went forward as well.
See, that's so important, man. You just said a lot right there. You just said a lot. And my wife is laughing because when we're growing up, or even if we're on the flip side, we're raising someone, the most important thing you can do is speak into that person.
Yes.
Great seeds. Even though whatever end of the spectrum we're on, even though we don't see it, we can still speak it into existence. And one thing that we're big on is the scripture, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Mm-hmm. And we see it all the time. You know, we're working in the community and things like that. And parents, for whatever reason, you know, the atmosphere, their upbringing, whatever, we always encourage them, speaking to that child. You're speaking right out into that existence, him or her. You'll speak them right out of, you know, the poverty. You can speak that person. You can speak to a whole generation, you know, positively. And like you said, your pastor didn't even know, but yet speaking that positive, speaking that greatness, you know, and that's what God will do. God will use people that we don't know, people that we do know. Man, I'm big on this, Victor. I believe if you just encourage someone, give a stranger or someone you know an encouraging word, it will change their life.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what happened. Go ahead.
Oh, I can contest to that because I also write motivational messages. I used to do it every day. People now, like, when I don't do it, people are like, bro, what you doing? Where they at? You can't share with me. You're like, yo, bro, where that? And what I didn't realize is how it was touching people around the world. Like, somebody said, oh, I sent it to my pastor. I sent it to my sister. I'm like, I talk about it on my radio show. I'm like, okay, I didn't know. I was just doing, you know, God was speaking to me and I was speaking to them, you know. So this one word of impact, it could change somebody's life. You don't even know it.
That's right.
Yeah. And I always like to say too, man, if we just do our part, we just
Yes.
do our part, man, God will anoint it and take that thing, like you said, uh, it'll go around the world. We touch
Yes.
around the world. And sometimes we try so hard, but man, it's the simple things. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the simple things in life that changes people. See, our mantra for our ministry is transforming the world one heart at a time. So that's the globe, but that's also this world right here. Everyone lives in their own world, and it may be similar
Yes.
to whatever, but their perspective, their worldview, and so again, we just doing our part. But I love your heart, man. I love your heart. I see you have a heart for people, and but you're just doing this, man. It's encouraging me, is what I'm trying to say, because
Yes.
little simple things you do is making a big difference. And I know, if anybody tell you, I'm proud of you and I appreciate you. All
Yes.
right.
Thank you,
Yes.
Isaiah. I appreciate that.
We haven't known each other that long. So again, I appreciate you coming on too. Pastor Gina, did you have anything else? I mean, we ain't going
Yes.
nowhere.
You know,
Yeah.
well, what I wanted to say is that you have that passion.
Yeah.
And my husband and I have ran across people that have a passion for something. And so when they have that passion, their heart and soul is in it, and they're impacting and they're changing and they're transforming, and they love what they're doing. So it's touching people and it's changing people's lives. And I know that your movies are changing people's life.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just thank God for you, because you're standing out. You're doing something that some people are not doing, but it's standing for what God wants to do, and you're glorifying Him. And so I think that that's making a big difference, and it's paying off
Mm,
in your
I
life.
appreciate it. I totally appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. So earlier we alluded to, some new things that you're working on. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Um, well, right now, I would say if you watch the movie, which you guys have, you will see the ending of the movie and what happens.
Yes.
And so I'm working on writing the continuation to that story, you know,
Okay.
Okay.
and even the challenges with that is, r- writing it in the same vein, but it had to be different, and I've had a
Yes.
vision
Yeah.
of it being different. But to try to keep it, it's hard to keep it in the same vein because now it's a whole different, whole different being, Um, and just writing like the other film I have, I'm not gonna say the name of it because I haven't copyrighted it yet, but it's a story, wrestler and his son, but just showing it's almost like a pursuit of happiness, type movie, you
Yeah.
know, to inspire people because there's a lot of people around this world today, the economy doing what it's doing, all this other stuff going on around the world, and it's hard to fight for your dreams because it seems like
Mhm.
everything is falling apart, So I
Right.
just wanted to write something to encourage somebody to, or shoot something to encourage somebody to keep going on their dreams.
Well, let
Um,
me ask you this, Victor. I'm pretty sure it's different streams of inspiration, but do you get them from like reading books or dreams, or is there one thing that is you look for inspiration in like one stream of thought?
well, I always say this, and I've said it since day one, since God told me to do it. All my scripts and things like that are downloaded in my head. I mean, I don't necessarily think about it; it just comes. You
Wow.
know,
Wow.
and there's some writers like, "Yo, Vic, how you write?" I'm like, "Yo, you don't write like me," because I just write.
Wow.
And I'm blessed. Excuse me. I'm blessed to write stuff quickly, real fast. But
Yeah.
I was telling one of my star, my boy Fonzo Sellers, who was just live starring a lot of movies on Tubi. I said this morning, I was like, hey, yeah, I write quick, but hey, there's some there's some power in it. Don't get it, especially because I write it
Wow.
fast. You know,
Yeah.
but it's I just say it's like it's God writing it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's
Yeah.
my stuff, not me writing for other people. When I create
Right.
stuff or when God downloads stuff in me, you know what I'm saying? It's just downloaded, so it's not hard at all.
Yeah. You use the word download, man. That's powerful right there. Because there's so many different things that you can get inspiration from. we were alluding to like, do you read your books and get it from that? Because we got a couple people, man. We got a couple writers, they authors of books, and they like, oh man, he's coming on there asking if he read our book and make a movie.
Oh, I mean, I've done that. I've done that. I just last year I wrote a 10-episode series based on this guy's book on his life.
Okay.
I just wrote a script, pilot episode, a guest ghostwriter pilot episode, of my book that was based on slavery and things like that. So
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
It's just all about the time and getting it done. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, it's gonna sound funny, but I tell people all the time. It's all about funding. Because you got the money to get it done, we can make it happen. But
I got
I
you.
start telling people that, because I used to be doing stuff, and it's like, I can't keep just doing stuff. I'm getting older. I can't just keep, and
Right.
people would come and not really be serious about it. And it's like, if I spend time writing this, it needs to be. I need to know it's gonna get done, or at least close to get done.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, you mentioned something about the funding. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, let's dive into that to give the people understanding and like some of the things that you can recommend that we can do or anyone can do to help you out. Again, you're watching Fire and Life Talk with our guest, Victor Joyner. And I know I'm enjoying this show. So I know you
Yeah.
are. But don't forget to like, to comment, to share on our show. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I told you we're going to take a short break because we want to get back into this. So before we left, Victor, we were talking about how does films get financed and kind of what bank or what do you draw from to finance a film? What's that process like?
It's our process, but the films that I've done of my own have been financed by myself.
Wow. Okay.
So basically, they're and once again, my big brother Jay says this. It's sometimes not about the funding; it's about the talent. Because I edited it myself, I wrote it myself, produced it myself, directed it myself, I cast it myself. I did a lot of stuff myself. I put a lot of equity in it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I put a lot of time and effort into it. To make sure it was done. You know what I'm saying? But you generally, you can get people to invest in it. You know what I'm saying? Once they get a certain points, it's called points with percentages. On the back end. So say it's on a Tubi and say it makes $1 million, you get a certain percentage of that. Quarterly. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that people don't understand about film, there's a reason why people get into film. You know what I'm saying? Especially people who have money get into film, because it's something that you could spend $100,000 to make $1 million or more. If it's done right.
Right.
And it's something that's residual. I mean, long as the movie's out, you know what I'm saying? It's playing on Tubi, BET, Netflix, wherever, you're getting paid. You can license it in different areas and things like that. The things that the people like those shows that you see that was shot back in the 60s and 70s that's still playing. Matter of fact, I watched Incredible Hulk, The Return of Incredible Hulk today on TV, on free TV. I was like, oh no, it was on Pluto TV. They still getting paid for that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, man.
So people.
I may need to let me take some notes. I may need to get some.
For people do crowdfunding, I've done that, finance it myself, I search for investors. I mean, I don't know too many people, what I'm saying, personally, that have that kind of money. Well, I know them, but like I said, they're in the real estate and things like that. They don't understand the concept of it, But yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to invest, they can just contact me. I got tons of projects, they're solid projects, I know a bunch of stars, legit stars and up and coming stars. I know a lot of people who, because they see my dedication, they see my work, that they say, hey, man, I'll work with you.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to ask you, we almost winding down. I want to make sure we get your information out there and where we can watch, my brother's Turmoil, and people can learn even more about you. But what would you give, what advice would you give to an aspiring filmmaker?
Just to do it, you know what I'm saying? As my pastor told me one time, she said, do what you can do on your level. How much money you got, whatever you can do it on that level. Because I didn't go to school for film. So I learned, like I said, school of the hard knocks. I learned on set.
Wow.
So you don't know until you do it. I read a book, was it Blueprint, the Guerrilla Filmmaker, and it says, "You're a filmmaker, say you're a filmmaker. Don't say you're nothing else. You're a filmmaker." That's it.
Man, this is awesome. This is awesome, man.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's powerful. So just step out and get it done. And you know what?
Step out on faith.
We've interviewed quite a few people, but what I'm finding out that when a person is on the edge or they get into their purpose, man, things just move if you just get up and do it.
Yeah. Yes. Take that walk.
Yeah. So you've been in that same line. So I'll tell you what, we were talking about A Brother's Turmoil. Where can you find it at right now if we want to watch?
You can find it on Tubi TV. You can search for it. Not sure what category it's under, so I'll just search A Brother's Turmoil. And there's a link on the screen. Just go check it out. I feel that you enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? There's more to come. So yeah, that's where they can see that.
Okay. And we mentioned about some other products. Well, I tell you what, tell us where we can find you. We got about 2 minutes left. Tell us where we can find you, and what to expect and all that.
Well, you can find me Facebook, Victor Victorious Films. You can find me on Instagram at Victorious Films LLC, or Brothers Turmoil on Instagram. You can email me at info@victoriousfilmsllc.com. The website is Victorious Films LLC. And I mean, right now I'm just trying to get it, like I said, Brother Turmoil, the sequel, and some other projects out there to help other people and build their lives.
Well, that's great, man. Again, Victor, it's been a pleasure. I've learned so much, and you're one of the guests that I don't know, man. Maybe I got something stirring in me. We had an author on last week's show, and I want to be an author. I want to know how you write books and all this. So now
I'll make movies. It's a long process. It's a process.
I want to know how to do movies, man, because I get excited, learning about other crafts and things of that nature. And I always wonder, hey, Lord, is there something in me, that you want to display with that too? So, but it's not all about me, but I hope someone out there that's watching get excited. I get excited, and that they will contact you.
I will say one thing, that a lot of things that you do in ministry will start what you're doing. My first ministry that I served on in church was the video ministry. I was doing the cameras and all that other stuff.
Wow.
That's before I even got into it, So when you start serving, you'll find your calling.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, my brother, we appreciate you coming on again. And you got a open standing ovation, invitation. I'm sorry. You got a standing ovation, definitely.
Yes.
Come back anytime. Again, we're with Victor Joyner, director, producer, writer, all that you can call in the industry. We thank you for coming by. And remember, don't forget to like, subscribe, to suggest, share, all of that. And tune in again to Fire and Life Talk, transforming the world one heart at a time. I hope you were encouraged, empowered, and equipped. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Fire and Life Talk, where Jesus is Lord. If you would like more information, visit our website at fireandlife.org.